Hi and welcome. My name is Anton Monson. You're here watching 3D Print Tech Design, and today, thanks to Creative Tools, I will be able to show you the Replicator Plus. It's a completely new machine from MakerBot, and we're gonna go through all the steps of unboxing, of setting up, of the software, of the mobile app, and of course printing a lot. So let's find out together if this is a new generation or if this is just a facelift. So come along for the ride. Alright, so let's have a look at the differences. So apart from the obvious differences from the new one compared to the old one, it is the name, of course, is new, but you also have a redesigned gantry, which means that this whole unit here is redesigned and made more stable. And towards that you also have an extra rail, which is kind of cool. So they now have a two-rail system to make sure that the H-gantry is performing perfectly. So this wagon here as well is now in all metal and much more stable with the bearings and everything. So it's smooth motions and more precise. It also makes a lot of difference on the sound levels and everything like that. So actually the whole gantry and the whole band system is updated so that the machine performs better, more or less. This also enables them to increase the build size. So the build volume here is around 17% larger. Exact numbers should be available. And that's about the big differences. Then of course the firmware is all updated. It's a new generation firmware. It's also many small improvements on the machine itself, which makes, for example, the calibration now has a better slot here. It's much better done. This band here is also a little bit updated, so it performs better. And overall simplicity is much improved as well. So you now have a access point system inside the printer, so you don't have to plug it into any computer. You will see in the setup a little bit later that it's completely free from having to do with a Wi-Fi zone. You can connect to that later, but the printer has a built-in access point, so make it easier for you to get going. So you can actually see the actual build size on the box, which is pretty cool. But this unboxing is probably going to take around 2 minutes until I actually talk in the video. So if you want to go ahead, you can skip ahead a little bit. You can also use the navigation system if you want to just quickly go back to the menu and skip to the next chapter. But you get in the box, which is neatly packed, you get the manual and a quick start guide. You also get a spool of filament. So you can see the quick start guide and what you do to remove the safety features, but I'll go through that a little bit later. You get the MakerBot filament guide and a smart extruder manual, so you see all the good stuff. So you can see the filament, it's a 900 gram spool. We also get a power cable, a USB cable, and also this little tool. And of course a smart extruder plus, because everything is plus now, so smart extruder plus. And underneath the little box we have some packaging material and also a bag, of course. And we have the printer. Ta-da! Alright, so here we have it, the machine. It's still in the safety configuration for shipping, so we're gonna have a closer look on what to remove next. But so, overall in the box we had some filament, Smart Extruder Plus, we had a Allen wrench, we had some USB cables, power cable, a information about your MakerBot, so warranty stuff, we have a quick start, and a Smart Extruder MakerBot filament support, know what you're gonna buy next. Kinda. So let's have a look at exactly what we should remove. So first off, you want to remove the protective cover under the build plate, and then we'll arrange the two belt clamps. So there's two of these, you kind of squeeze them off, and these are really good to save for later because they prevent the gantry from moving. And that's good for warranty cases and stuff like that. We also have this one that hinders the Z axis from moving up and down. It also has the guide tube filament stuck to it, so you kind of remove that one. And then you have two small pieces of tape keeping the new and flexible build plate in space. So we just remove one there and one over here. And with that we can now remove this build plate, and as you can see, it slots in really nicely.
Okay, so it's time to load some filaments. I have the included spool here. Just gonna open that bag up. Comes with a small silica gel, which is really good. If you don't know why, you should check out my video on moisture. It's somewhere around here. Anyways, here's the spool. And what you do is that you just open this, the cassettes, or the enclosure for the filaments. So you just put your spool there and you drag the filament up here. Quite simple actually. There's still no built-in dust filters. I'm going to use one of our own. Not because I know that if you need it since it's covered, but I'm still going to use it. Better be safe than sorry. There we go, that's loaded.
see. Da-da. Push the filament in, and then we start feeding. There we go. Awesome. Clip that, and we're gonna dismantle that, slide that down, and we're now ready to load the filaments. Okay, so we're now in the new MakerBot software. I'm gonna go through all the features a little bit later, but first what we wanna do is to connect to a new machine. And as you can see, we don't really do that up here anymore. We actually go down here. So this is the old replicator, MakerBot desktop. So I'll add a new one here, add a new network printer. I have one here, Replicator Plus Stockholm, as we just initiated via the cell phone. So let's just add that. I need to confirm on the printer. Now that's done, and we can actually see everything here. So as you can see, it works good. The camera is, I mean, the frame rate is not the best, but I think it's pretty good details. And we'll go into here on the details. As you can see, we're using a firmware 2.0.6.617, sorry about that. This is a pre-release beta firmware, so just remember that anything you see here might and probably will get even more improved in the future, not because I have seen any bugs just yet, but I'm sure there's something with the pre-release that might just be a little bit janky or something that I might not understand. Anyway, so that's how you set it up, and in the next chapter we'll have a look at the software in overall. Okay, so this is the new MakerBot print software, and please remember this is a pre-release, so some of the bugs or missing features or anything like that will probably be solved or fixed or added just when you see this. So please don't take this too seriously and await further instructions and features, which should be really interesting. So first of all, up here in the file menu we have a few new stuff. Under system tools we can set up what we want to see. We can add and lower the graphics. I'm gonna go high because I'm cool. Warning settings, sounds interesting. View manipulation, how you want to do that, and privacy of course. And you want to send this stuff to MakerBot, not because they're gonna see your models, but because they're gonna improve it. So let's just save that, and we'll then check a look at what's next. We also have under edit, we don't have any really interesting stuff here. Under view, we have a few different views. Dimetric, trimetric, isometric, cool. Let's just see, and we have fit to selection, fit to build plates, and everything like that with views. And also check for updates and about. So please here note that I'm using the version 0.20.4, blah blah blah. So that's probably gonna be like a new one later. So we have here direct links to MakerBot and to Thingiverse. It's not integrated like it used to be. So when I click here, I go to another page. I'm not going to show you that because it's on another screen. But anyways, yeah, and also here's the account, and there's not really a lot here right now, but I'm guessing that's going to change in the future. So we have our build volume. Interesting. We also have here a small guidance to help us understand that Z is up, X is to the side, and Y is in this direction. Yeah, you get the point. All right, cool. So what's this stuff here on the right side, Anton? Yeah, I'm gonna show you. So let's start off here by just selecting a printer, because this is crucial. If you don't have any printer connected, you're gonna get the wrong build volume and stuff like that. So I want to click here. As I showed you before, I have a Replicator Stockholm. This is the new one, and this is the old one. So if I change to this here, I click select, you'll see how my bed changes to the older size. You can actually see here that it is a pretty big difference. So there we go. So this is the Stockholm machine. And of course, I have some menus here. Let's go through them.
We have model view is active, and we also have a print preview, which is kind of like seeing the layers. This is really cool. I'll show you that in a few seconds. We also have a select an object, so I can view some information about that object. I have my print settings. I need to add a model for that as well. I can arrange my model and on the build plate and the project. This is really, really interesting, and I'll get into that deeper in a few seconds. We can also orient our models by rotating them, of course, by our own degrees, or by just these quick snaps, which is really good. And of course, you can place a face on the build plate as well. And then scaling, of course. So that's it, more or less. Let's also just check out another setting here. So I can click on my printer. I can now see this new nice camera view. I see that it's printing an engine. It's 24 hours into this print and it has 3 hours remaining. I can pause it, cancel, and during utilities there's not much right now, but this is also the pre-release, so remember that. I'm gonna add some features here. Probably, I don't know. So don't sue me if there's no new features. Yeah. Okay, so we've now seen all the visual parts. There's also something here, new project. This sounds really cool. So I'm gonna add a model. I'm gonna do this part. This is my GoPro part. So that looks pretty nice. It's quick and easy to add here. But there's a few different things here that's new compared to before. Now we have something called build plates here. So you can arrange your models onto these build plates, but this isn't really necessary at this stage. Let me just show you what you can do with this file, and then we'll go into deeper with the new cool features of the software. Believe me, it's worth waiting for. If you're a CAD guy, I mean, we'll get into that later. So remember here, I had model view. This is one of my model views in millimeters. We have some print settings, interesting. So extruder type, Smart Extruder Plus. Layer height, well, I can choose a few here, that's good. Shells, well, I don't know, recommended, infill. I can change that, I can write what I want to. I can add supports, rafts, and yeah, that's about it. And I currently don't have any information at all if this is everything or if you will be able to do more. To be honest, I think that MakerBot is going with the whole, I want to say SortWorks approach, but I'm sure that a lot of different print users has done this before. But basically you validate settings that are always working and you give the use of those instead of having too much alternatives, and which usually leads to screwing up. So I think this is a good idea for the kind of customer group that MakerBot is after. Usually those kind of users, nowadays at least, don't want to tinker a lot. They don't want to try out strange PLA materials that might just clog everything, and then they'll be angry at MakerBot. So I think this is really good when you consider what type of customer MakerBot is directing themselves to. So I've been trying a few of these so far, and they just kind of work. So I'm happy with that. But I would wish for a custom menu like there used to be. But again, I'm not sure if that's coming, if it's just not available yet, or if you can like edit some other files. I have to more or less get back to you guys on that one. So remember to subscribe so I can talk more about software in the future. Anyways, so that's these settings. Let's just click that on, yeah. Leave it that. We also have the arrange here, arrange and build plate. Well, I just have one part, so that's not really interesting, right? What else? We have rotation. Yeah, we can do that. Cool, cool. Yeah, and scaling, of course. So well, let's just stop here. Let's take in a new thing here, because what you can actually do now, I'm just gonna create a new project, confirm. What I want to do here is that I will insert a file. See here that you can insert STL files assembled and just a file. Now look here. Whoa, this is new. So we can import STLs as usual, but we will also import SolidWorks, Inventor, IGS Step, CATIA, Wavefront, Unigraph, the Solid Edge, Pro Engineer, Parasolid, and VRML, or however you want to pronounce that. So I have a pretty cool assembly here, I think. I think you might recognize what it is. It's out here, new build plate created. So I kind of hope you recognize this model because I made it. It's my open DSLR rig. It's just the CAD file here, so you even have the nuts and stuff. Sure, when you create your file, you should probably export this even better. But hey, look what's happening here. Don't forget what's happened. So we've imported a assembly here, which is all my parts, and I can actually assemble it here if I want to. Oh, that's not good. Cool. So it doesn't really work with joints and stuff, but hey, that doesn't matter. Maybe it will in the future. So you can see here, new build plate created. It actually creates a few different build plates. So I can now start to arrange my project on this. So for example, I will hide a bunch of stuff that I don't need. I'm not going to print these here because they're reference hardware. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to hide it. I can also move to another build plate if I want to, but in this case I'm just going to hide. And you should be hidden as well. And you rods, I'm not going to print the carbon fiber rods, duh. Let's see here on this one, is there anything I won't need? Yep. The idea here is to go back here and arrange the product again. So I'm now cutting away parts from this plate here. Now the observant of you will probably realize that most parts are wrong. Arrange build, no, sorry, not build plate, the projects. So now we have everything back to one plate, but yes, we got to rotate a few of these parts. So let's just do that. Let's arrange the parts as I usually would do. Okay, let's go back here, arrange projects. We're now getting a little bit closer to what we want to do. Arrange projects. Yeah, so you get the idea here that we're moving around parts that we want to arrange, and we get this kind of smart system helping us. As an example, what you can do is that you can actually create more build plates. Let's say here that I have a new build plate that I want to call, then I want to have all my follow focus stuff on. So maybe I want to have it in another color or something. So I can just move those kind of parts to that. So my gears here, I want to move all that to this build plate, which I can then, I should be able to just change printer here. Now, usually you want to keep the same printer for the same volume, but I can move it to this one. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna select that one. So unfortunately, right now it kind of reassembles everything when I change the type of printer. But the idea here is that you can send build plates to different printers. So if you have a bigger setup in a bigger company or at the school, you can send these to multiple printers to manage a project like that. A really cool thing with the new software is this project tool. Be able to take an IGES file and see everything here, hide the parts that I'm not going to use. For example, all of these parts are supposed to be hidden. And what else? I think that's all, right? So now arrange the project. We now have a full build plate here and a full build plate here. So in 2 build plates, I will be able to get this model done, which I think is really cool. And that's the big new features with this software. I'm gonna go here and click here. So what we're now doing is that we're slicing. We're showing a print preview with the settings that I chose and this model. So there we go, and now we have the sliced file here. We have something called 3D preview. We can choose how to visualize layers here, so we can drag here the different layers. So for example, we can do up to layer, so we see everything up to that layer. We also see the different movements here, so the different type of codes, more or less. So I think this is pretty cool. You can also show a single layer, for example, and single on and above and below and stuff like that. So I think this is pretty cool. And you can also see here each movement on the layers. You can see how it draws layers, which is actually really cool. And that's about it. And then you print, of course. Speaking of printing, let's just talk about that in the next episode.
Okay, so let's summarize. What does the new Replicator Plus actually deliver? Now, first off, right off the bat, we can see that the print quality is really, really good, but it's not perfect. So we've all seen the SLA printers and so on. Sure, that kind of technology delivers better, but I'm really pleased with the print quality here. It's I'd give it a strong 7 out of 10, and yeah, kind of made that number up. But it's based on that with PLA and with this kind of build volume, it's not easy to get bigger prints, better print quality. And it's also a compromise between reliability and customization. So if you customize and you can create these kind of perfect prints, then you usually have to customize all the time. So it's a balance. For example, this wrench here, I was really impressed with. Well, first off, the quality is good, but also the bridges in here. I scaled it up 200% and printed it, and it just worked. So the good thing here and the difficult thing is to remove these support materials that Daniel designed here when he did this, and it ends up just working really, really well. And just wiggling these and getting rid of it. So bridging and stuff like that is really impressive, and smooth surfaces as well. Some of the minor details are, sure, a little bit more tricky, but that's going to be with every 0.4mm nozzle printer. What's really good is that it kind of just works. So I've tried around 20 prints, and I had so far, I'll continue trying of course, and I had one failed print, and I could track that back to having a little bit too much of my greasy hands on the build plates. And I ended up just cleaning it off with a rag because I don't want to use any chemicals on this. I don't have any spare build plates at the moment, so if I use wrong chemicals, I'm not sure on how to do that. And by the way, MakerBot, you should give some information how to clean the build plate, if you can use chemicals, what kind of surface it is, and so on. But other than that, it just sticks. And overall, all the mechanical new improvements are really showing through. The machine is quieter. I can read around 10 decibel less noise when comparing the new one towards the old one. And as always, the button and the navigation systems is really easy to use, and it's very good on this machine. So that's a big plus. Compared to many other machines, you have easier accessibility, and of course the connectivity through the cell phone and the app. The MakerBot print software is really, really good. So that's a big plus, and it's difficult to see that compared to any other printers. Setup was also amazing. It was just really removing the packaging safety stuff and clicking calibrates. It went down here. I think it took 1 point, maybe in 2 points, but then it was ready. And from that, everything just worked. So factory leveled, check. And speaking about the build plate, it's actually really awesome, as I just mentioned about the cleaning, except that the build plate is big, it's large, it sticks. Had a tiny little bit of issue with working with the wrench here, but as you can see, it's kind of warp prone. So it's to calculate for, especially when it comes to old PLA. So this is old PLA from the previous release, so please remember that the blue. I made a whole video about old filaments and stuff, but anyway. And also just hearing that when you take out the build plate and you bend it and you hear that cracking sound, that's perfect. I mean, it sticks, and then when you just twist it, it kind of comes loose. So that's a really, really good feature. So in general, the experience with the Replicator Plus is really good. Everything from the app, the software, and the machine itself is very well executed. Sure, we can expect some minor bugs and stuff, but since this is a pre-release machine, so I'm sure that most of those will be fixed. I don't have anything really serious. I had one print failure with the software, but that was due to my computer. I was running different printer face and different repetier hosts for other printers, so that kind of screwed up the connectivity. Just as the previous version, I think there's a server like laying around communicating with the printer. So I just restarted my computer and then perfect. A good feature as well is the over-the-air firmware update. So I think I saw one firmware update during my testing pre-release. So we can expect that when there's even more user feedback, if there's anything that they should fix, then it's really great that you don't have to do those kind of annoying firmware updates. It's just kind of do it. There is one thing that I wished for, and that is more settings in the MakerBot print software. I would be able to like optimize maybe for my model or something. When I think about that, I kind of realized that I'm not this kind of customer. I'm the kind of customer who want to tweak my machine, maybe push the prices a little bit, and get something cheaper that I have to work more with, and that is not optimized or tested enough. Let's say a self-build do-it-yourself kit. I would like to have that and kind of optimize the machine to get that 105% performance. And this printer isn't for the maker geeks kind of people that we see in our Facebook groups and in our different forums. This machine is for people that are looking beyond the actual printer. This is looking for people who want to create stuff. Maybe they have a big corporation where the goal is not to have a 3D printer. The goal is to have something produced with the printer. This goes as well for schools and for prosumers as well. But the main aspect here that we have to think about when we look at printers like this one, but especially this one, is that it's not made for the hackers anymore. There's a whole history about that, but it's made for the next generation engineers, designers, and teachers and students that kind of want to look beyond the printer itself. It's really cool to have a printer, but it's even more cool what you can do with it. And the goal here is to have something that anyone can pick up and use. So, for example, not only two persons at a company, but also so I'm going to bash in you, marketing department or receptionist could actually print something if they want to, but the designers that maybe they're not technically interested, they can actually print really cool designs as well with the printer. So it's made for those kind of customers, and that's why we also see these kind of limitations on what's possible to do with it. And I think that's the most important part to remember here, that this is a tool and it's supposed to work, it's supposed to be reliable, it's supposed to be running smoothly, and that's why you want to have it. And for that, the Replicator Plus delivers an excellent experience. So if you're a small company, if you're a school, if you're a design firm or an engineer firm where you need to have a tool that's just working, and you can kind of add to that the hacker tools if you have any enthusiasts there. But if you want to have a tool, this is the machine for you, and I would recommend it for those kind of customers. And again, it is a selected group of customers, and me or Creative Tools or MakerBot will be happy to kind of talk to you about if this is the machine for you or if you should look at something else. It kind of depends on what type of company you're running and how you're looking at 3D printing. And I guess that's all. That's the whole long video. And yeah, it's a long video. I'm probably going to do much more printing with this one. I'm going to do in-depth analysis of prints, of the software, of possible firmware updates, and possible extra features in the future. And as soon as I get some PLA tough, I'll make sure that I print with that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this massively video. Again, let me know if there's any questions you want to ask me about the machine, or go to MakerBot directly and they'll help you depending on where you are in the world. And of course, make sure that you subscribe so you can see more of these kind of printers and more reviews and more unboxings and more of everything related to 3D really. So I hope you have a really good day, and hit me up on Twitter, on the comment fields, and email me if there's any questions that you want me to sort out for you. Maybe you don't want to do them in publicly, that's fine, I'll be here for you. So thank you.